Hello and welcome to a little showcase slash tutorial of the thing you see behind me, which is a cobble generator, because you need that. Yes. This is what I would call a simple design, and it's very efficient. This produces something like 36,000 cobble an hour, so it's pretty efficient, I would say. That's over 20 shulker boxes, so or 10 double chests if you are old school. And the redstone behind it is pretty simple. It doesn't use a lot of fancy timing and doesn't use a lot of dispensers or whatever that I've seen in other designs. Simple, we have a generator here. Currently it generates smooth stone only. I've actually built this on a server already, and on that one it's actually random if it's cobble or smooth stone that gets generated, but doesn't really matter because everything turns to cobble when you blow it up, so doesn't really matter. Really not much to the redstone, as you see. So fairly simple design, I would call it, at least. This is the whole clock for the whole farm, the whole brain, so it's not very complicated. Yeah. And it also uses, as we see here, if you look carefully, you will see that the TNT explodes at the same time as we push blocks out. And that is good because blocks have a lower blast resistance when they get pushed. It doesn't really matter in the drop rate sense. It used to matter a lot, but it doesn't anymore. But it gives you a little bit larger margin for error if you if an explosion doesn't happen where it's supposed to happen, or something goes wrong. You have a little bit more margin for error, which I think is good. Other than that, this works in 1.14. I am in 1.14.4. Only thing I could really see breaking is probably the TNT duper. Other than that, it's basic old school redstone, so it have been working for a long time and it should keep on working. I assume, but you never know what they will change, so yeah. Should we get into building this? Maybe. And see how it all works. So, we want to decide basically on a good spot. You want a little bit of space underneath so you can do some item collection, but other than that, it's really not that. I'm gonna go down a couple of blocks because that was too many. Doesn't really matter. You want a couple of blocks underneath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And a corner block, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These blocks needs to be obsidian. Because you have explosions happening just above them. So if we go 1, 2, 3 there, for example, and in the middle, we can just place these in while we're at it. Oops. So an explosion happening here could blow up these blocks here, which will ruin stuff. So if we use obsidian, that problem gets out of the way. Then I'm going to build a whole floor out of sea lanterns. You don't have to do that. I would recommend placing either sea lantern or glowstone in a couple of spots like this maybe, and that is because if we stand on this, we have a light level of 8. Can you see my cursor? No, you can't. Okay, but we have a light level of 8 on the block. If we remove that, we will have a light level of 3, which means that block is spawnable. And it's better if it's not spawnable. Simple as that. And then we go 8 blocks out in each direction. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we just fill in this whole thing with whatever block you choose to build this out of. Something like that. And then we grab some other type of building block and we go 1, 2, 3, 4 and place a block there, and we just build a frame around on this side like so, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we do the same on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remove that again. Didn't really have to remove that, but hey ho. Like so, and then we can place a block in each corner here, like so. Place and place. And then we grab regular pistons, and we're gonna place them facing up, like so. Might be easier just walking instead of trying to fly. And this should be 15 in total, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And we do the same on this side. 15. And then if we want to, we can place it in the water already. I usually start 1 block in, so there's the first water source, and then you just fill and you stop 1 block before the corner again, and you do this all the way around. And we place water on top of the corner blocks as well. So, and so. And as you can see, the water flows very nicely into the middle here, so that will be perfect for our item collection. Now, let's start building up some redstone. I'm just gonna build 1 here first, because they are all exact copies of each other. So you go 1, you go in 1 and up 1 more, so you have a 2 block gap, and then you place 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you go 1, 2, and on the 3rd block you have a piston facing down, like so. You want obsidian underneath that, or some immovable block, could be a furnace or something, but I just use obsidian. And you want 1 obsidian up there. We're also going to place in some redstone while we're at it. This, as you will see later on, will just copy over nicely. So we want, into this bottom one, we want a repeater on 4 ticks. Redstone dust, repeater on 4, and a repeater on 1, so 9 ticks in total. These we just want dust and dust like so, and we want a block there with a repeater on 1 tick. And up here we want the same delay as we have down there, so we want full, a full, and 1, so that's 9 ticks in total there as well. Then we come down here to the bottom and we're gonna start building the generators up. So come out 2 blocks and down 1 block. And you place 2 blocks going like so. You want a repeater there on 2 ticks. And a redstone dust. And a repeater there going into it on just 1. Then we place a redstone torch with a block, sticky piston, and then we place another block against the torch there with a repeater going out into another block with a torch into a block with a regular piston. And that's the whole generator. Now you just repeat that 14 more times until you get over to the end here, and then we can talk about the next step. So let's fill everything in here real quick. Something like this. And now we can place in the water and the lava. So you go around with a ring of blocks here. That was 1 too many, and 1, 2, 3 like that. You go too high for now because we need to place the lava 1 block up, so you need to be 1 block higher here for now. You place in your water like that, and your lava there. And as you can see, stone is forming already. Then we want block on top of the lava. We want solid blocks there. We can place another row of glass up above the water. And we want solid blocks there because this is where the next layer of generators will go. So those repeaters I placed there are the same as those here. This needs to have redstone dust on it, like so. So, and then it's just repeating the exact same pattern as you have down here. So 2 ticks into a block with a torch, block, sticky piston, and then a repeater into a block, torch, block, regular piston. And a regular piston, like so. And you just once again repeat that 14 more times. And once again you do this same thing with the glass. It doesn't have to be glass, it's just, I don't know. I like being able to watch a farm work, so therefore I'm using as much glass as possible when I'm building. It could be any block. You just have to make sure to spawn proof if you use a spawnable block, basically. But you could use anything here. There we go. So, and now we could just cap it off with glass. And on top of the water as well. So that's one side completely done, and then you just have to mirror it on the other side like that. Pretty sure it's the same. 4 ticks into that, 4 plus 1, we have 2 ticks going into all of those, we have 2 ticks going into all of those, and we have 4 plus 4 plus 1 up there, so it should be the same. Let's start wiring this whole thing up. So, we want to find the middle block, and it's there. So, we place a block in the middle, we go out one more, just so we know where it is, and then we just fill up with blocks out on both sides, all the way to there. Then we want to come out to the right of the middle block. We come out 1, 2, 3, 4, I think. We can remove that and then 3 blocks like so. And we want a block there as well. Then we grab ourselves a comparator there, facing or going into this block, and a comparator facing the other direction. We want a redstone torch on that block, and then we want dust, 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 and dust. And that will create our clock. And our output will be there. So as you can see, it's blinking every couple of seconds or so. Let's for now put a lever there. This is also going to be our on-off switch, so whenever you want to turn this off, you just put power into one of these 2 blocks, or you can put power into this maybe, or into here or something, but I prefer having it on the back side here because we're going to have some other redstone bits as well. Then we take our output, repeater, dust up to the edge, place another repeater, we place block up and block down, and then we connect those up, and dust on that, we come around to there, we build a little staircasey thing up like so, and dust on all of those. That is the bottom layer all wired up. Then we want to come up with redstone to this block, so we come out from here. I'm using glass, you could use slabs instead if you want to, but because you can place redstone on glass now, I'm using that. Like so. That's also if you're playing in an older version, so you can't place redstone on glass. These obviously needs to be solid blocks instead. And also the ones, I don't remember if you could place repeaters on glass, doesn't matter in this case. But we connect that up, and then we need to also connect this up. So we do that by, let's build a little towery thing up to there maybe, and we take out every other like so to get a staircase, and just dust on everything. And that is this whole side wired up. Then we just repeat it on this side. Perfect. And if you want to, you can turn it on and see if everything works so far before we put the TNT in. I forgot something. We do not have power here. So let's put that in as well. What do I need for that? We take an observer. On the second one from the top. One block out. So that will detect when this gets pushed down to there. It will detect it. And we want a block and a block. We want a sticky piston and a block on top of that, creating a monostable. And we want a repeater on 4 ticks going into that, and a redstone dust on top. And we do the same on this side. Block, block, sticky piston with block on top, repeater, 4 ticks, dust. And let's turn it on again. And there it pushed out as well. And you see we get some cobble as well in it now, so it's a bit random. But as I said in the beginning, it doesn't matter because it's all turning into cobble when you blow it up. So yeah, let's put the TNT in. We want to come up a couple of blocks, basically so we clear the redstone there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 I think is a good number. And then we come out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Technically we could go 1 block lower, but doesn't really matter. Oops, we make this 3 wide. Like so, and then we do the same on this side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This here is to make sure that the TNT ends up in roughly the same position each time. Because it's a bit random, so when you dupe the TNT, it could end up here. It could end up here. It could also end up here. But we need it to be on top of that obsidian block down there for the farm to work. So that's why we're doing this. Then we come up on block and then just go around with more obsidian. And the reason why I'm using obsidian here is because on rare occasions the TNT doesn't find its way down in time before it explodes. And if it explodes up here, these blocks will get blown up if they are not obsidian. So that's simply why I'm doing that. So we have our little obsidian tray here, and we place water so everything flows into the middle nicely. Like so. And now for the explodey part. We want to come up another 8 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we want to place our TNT on that block with our duper, or when we are building the duper. And I'm gonna build this backwards. Because it's easier, I know where I want the TNT, so it's easier for me to build it backwards. So you place 3 blocks like that. You take out the TNT for now, because bad things can happen if you're not careful. Then you come out 1 and over 1 to the side, and you, oops, do the same. Kinda L shape. And then you want to place your sticky piston there. Then we want a detector rail with a minecart. We want some form of wall block in front. We want a coral fan there, and now we can place our TNT there. Now we just have to power this once to connect it all together. Like so. And as you can see, we now have TNT duping. And now we just repeat this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks apart. We place our sticky piston. I'm gonna build this the correct way now, just to confuse everyone. And then you come down and out like so. 1, 3 blocks like that. Minecart. TNT like so, and we assemble it, and it works. Perfect. We have 3 working TNT dupers. And now we need to connect the clock down there up to the TNT dupers. We place a block on top of the torch with a sticky piston, and then we have to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And we place a redstone block on top of that. Temporary block, another sticky piston, and we want to just check how far out we're going to go. This last bit needs to be an immovable block. So we want our redstone block to be there. And then we can place a repeater on 4 ticks. And now comes the fun part. On the server where I've built this works perfectly fine. You connect this up here, and because what I want to achieve here is a T flip-flop, so every other pulse you will get an explosion. And on the server, this contraption here works as a T flip-flop. So the first pulse, this piston just spits out the blocks. On the second one, it retracts them. But if we start this, I'm pretty sure that won't work. Oh, it did here. Huh. Might be directional or something. Because if we go over here to this one that I showcased in the beginning, it doesn't do that. For some reason. So, the solution, if you get this version, if it functions like this, is you take a couple of dust and you have an observer looking at that into a sticky piston with a redstone block in front of it, and then you have your line going out of there. So if we watch this in action, you can see that it does what the other one over there does, just that we have the extra observer in between. I have no idea why this is, but good thing you managed to, or I managed to catch both versions. But this here works without it. I believe it has to do with update orders of pistons and stuff like that. But here we see another little problem that I don't have on the other one. And it's that the stone doesn't move when the TNT is exploding, like I talked about over there. so it's out of sync. And you can see the reason why I want it to explode while it's moving is because this builds up quite a lot in here. So, but that's an easy fix. You just have to reverse engineer this. So what you do is you remove the redstone block, you move it down one and place the slime block there. So now it's basically in a reverse order compared to what it used to be. So now it should work. There we go. Perfect. And all that's left to do now is take care of all the items somehow. Quite a few. And this produces so much that a hopper line just won't do. So you need to collect them with a water stream. And going into some sort of speedy storage, I would recommend. But I'm going to show you how I like to do this. You can do this however you want, but this is how I like to do it. I'm using obsidian here, just because it's blast resistant. And you never know what will happen when you play around with TNT, so you might as well. If we place a water source in there, it flows up to there. Then what we want to do is take a sticky piston. And why I'm doing this is because two reasons. I want to have the items group up a little bit more so you don't send a constant stream of items. And that is because if you group them up, it's less entities for the server to process. So it's more lag efficient if you do it that way. And also hoppers, that you will eventually need hoppers to pick this up, and they have a cooldown. And oh, I'm building this wrong. And if items come in groups, you will be able to pick up more items quickly. Like so. Just build a little water stream. We need our water, or else it won't be a water stream. Like so. We need to put power into that block. And what I like to do is just connect that up to this clock. Because why not? And one way of doing that is you go down one block, place a dust, out to the side one block, you take a repeater, and then we go down to there. And that technically works. The only problem with that is if we look at this, run it a little tiny bit, you see it's a very short pulse. You could extend it. I think 3 ticks is the maximum you can have. But no, 2 ticks. It's a very short pulse. So that won't really do. So what you could do if you're having this problem is build a, not a pulse extender, a pulse off extender? Did that make sense? Maybe. So, we take a block, we grab a torch, we have a repeater on, let's try it on 4 ticks, let's see if this works. We have a repeater there on 4 and one on a couple more, 6. Block there, dust there, and then we want another redstone torch there. So what this does is it extends the period of time the torch is turned off, or the signal is turned off. So if we turn it on again, you see the piston is retracted for quite a lot longer now. So items actually have time to fall through. So that's a good thing. And the last thing we want to do is, now I stop the farm and stuff is falling in, but they are not going through because the piston is extended. So what you can do then is place a block there. You take an output signal from, let's put a torch there. And we build a little circuit like that with comparator, comparator, dust, dust, and then we place a sticky piston there. So what this will do is, when the clock is running up here, this circuit will keep this extended. But when the farm stops, this will retract, which will make that piston over there retract. So if we try this, like so, and it keeps being extended, and it stays extended until I turn this off, and it all turns off, and that opens up, so whatever is left in the farm actually gets thrown out. So, and then you can just take this away to some form of storage solution. I might record a video on shulker box loading as well, because I have some fun ideas there. So, and something that will go very well with this, a quad hopper speed loader will almost keep up with this, but yeah, you need 4 hoppers feeding into a shulker box in order to keep up. So it's a little bit tricky, but yeah, I might record a video on that. Keep an eye out on the channel. But anyways, we had almost a working farm from the get-go. We had some different things happening to this compared to that, and I have no idea why. But I've showed you how to solve the problems or the different situations that might come up. So anyways, I hope you have liked this tutorial and that you find this thing useful, because mining for cobble is just sad. So thank you for watching. Leave a like if you liked it, and comment if you want to, and all of that. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!